Hey everybody, super glad to be here amongst you all. A lot of participants, that's amazing to see. So good job, CleverTap. I'm representing a really small startup called BigShyft, but we're part of a very big company called InfoEdge. InfoEdge is the parent brand of very popular brands like Naukri.com, Jeevansathi.com, 99 Acres, and a bunch of other smaller brands. And what we are essentially building, can we go to the next slide, please, Paddy? What we essentially are is actually pretty interesting, and I don't think CleverTap also has a lot of customers like us. So we are from this recruitment space, but a very niche, sort of very premium focused recruitment platform. So we're fundamentally a career platform for super talented professionals. We launched about a year back, and we're building this brand from like literally grounds up, catering to software developers to begin with, where we have built this pretty cool recommendation engine, very powerful sort of machine learning driven recommendation engine for the best software developers out there to discover and apply to the best product and tech jobs out there, right? Because that's the big void in the market that we know recruiters have, which is to discover from amongst a sea of developers how to find the best sort of software talent. So that's where BigShyft is kind of building this pretty incredible algorithm. A lot of deep learning at play there. Of course, also utilizing a lot of human intelligence as well, because being part of the Naukri.com group, we have access to a lot of great recruiters in-house. So we're using a bit of human intelligence and the machine sort of intelligence and building this very powerful hybrid platform. And in about a year or so, we've gone from like zero size of a database to almost now more than 200,000 software developers who are on BigShyft, and the companies are about 500 odd companies that are hiring on our platform across 2,000 odd job postings. So it's been a great journey so far. Been super exciting to build the product, and well, one thing that's been constant with us has been CleverTap, because that's something that I personally brought in from day one. I'm a very different breed of marketeer. I come from the school of thought that and I'm sure you guys may relate to it, that acquisition is fundamentally unprofitable. It's retention that actually makes you money. So I'm a very life cycle kind of marketeer, and that's where sort of CleverTap has been a very integral part of our success so far. Really quickly, these are very obvious points. A lot of you would relate to this in your marketing journeys as well. We have like three broad challenges. One is, of course, because we are a job seeker focused platform, there are job seekers who do not complete their registrations, who do not complete their profiles, and that's very, very critical to us, because that's how we're able to recommend the jobs using a lot of the rich data that we have, and that's the power of BigShyft, where we focus on a lot of rich parameters. So that was one, it's a constant problem. The second is, of course, like I said, it's engagement, it's retention that really makes all the difference. So what after he applies for the first job, or she applies for the first job, what do you do after that, right? How do you ensure that the life cycle of a job seeker is maximized beyond the typical job hunting phase? Because these are all premium talent and they all find jobs pretty fast, right? And then, of course, the third sort of challenge, if you call it, is building that recall in recruiters' mind, because we are a very new product, and of course we have the backing of the Naukri.com group, but ultimately we have to sell our product ourselves, and that's where recruiters also need to be reinforced, constantly about the benefits of using a platform like BigShyft. So those were the three main challenges that we were looking to address, and CleverTap fit in very well into our scheme of things, because ultimately when we have a lot of data, if we can analyze their collective behavior and segment them and then target them effectively, then, and all in like one pretty cool place, a platform. So all of this happening at the same place allows us to really have that very, very scalpel approach. So I like to call it the scalpel approach, because we are very niche, very small, and CleverTap allows for that scalpel approach to work, which is going after each of the sort of job seeker in a very personalized manner, targeting, segmenting, and all that. Can we go ahead? So by the way, I'm sure you guys won't have too many questions, but if you do, please just send it in the chat window. I'll be happy to answer if it's something that I can. So again, like all of you may already sort of be doing this on your own. We really have two main benefits that we derive out of CleverTap. One is a really pretty cool cutting edge analytics kind of the module that CleverTap has. So we rely a lot on that. Of course, we do use Google Analytics because that's just the default kind of mindset out there. But then because CleverTap just puts all of it together at one place, just helps us really visualize data in a very powerful manner. We do have some internal reporting tools as well, like free tools like Metabase and all those things. But CleverTap would be the main tool that product and marketing kind of uses together. And then of course there's the engagement module, that's the campaigning module, which I personally I think CleverTap has done a great job of building that out really well. So for smaller brands like us and very niche brands like us, personalized campaigns really become very powerful, and it's one of the biggest components of our marketing mix, if I may call it, because we rely a lot on direct campaigns, and that's where really we leverage the power of a tool like CleverTap the most, like direct personalized campaigns. I think these slides again, just running through them really fast. It helps you to understand the power of like data visualization, right? Like of course, like Google Analytics has a lot of this, but like I said, CleverTap putting it all together in the same place, allowing us to create the segments and the sort of the target groups at the same place on runtime, allows us to utilize these features really well. Of course, pivots are a central sort of a core tenet to our retention strategy, wherein we are effectively monitoring a lot of different sort of cohorts. The different retention cohorts for us. The job seeker from day 0 to sort of day 180, day like 6 months becomes very, very important, because typically 3 months is when he's looking for a job, and then the remaining 3 months is when he's just in the new job, but then he or she needs to be referring referring BigShyft to others once he or she has got the offer. So how do we kind of get that part of the engagement going, wherein the same person who's gotten a job through us can actually propagate our brand further. So that's where we deploy a lot of marketing engagement sort of strategies. A lot of product marketing happens there. So yeah, I mean, pivots is a great way to visualize the data. So can we just go ahead? So yeah, journeys. I mean, like drip campaigns, right? This is very, very fundamental to a lot of smaller brands who deal a lot with direct marketing, and who really use drips to effectively maximize the engagement of every user at a unit level. And that's where we do a lot of complicated drips on CleverTap. We do over extended periods of time. It's a very intuitive, easy to use drag and drop kind of a feature module that CleverTap has, and it really allows us to personalize the emails. So we do a lot of emails. Emails is one of our main sort of channel that we use. So using these journeys, we're able to effectively create a long-term visibility with some forecasting into our monthly plans and our weekly plans. We have all these sort of plans broken down. So a module like journeys helps us actually plan all of that in advance, and then quickly monitor it as the things are going by. And as a company, because again, like maybe many of you who do a lot of direct marketing will relate to the fact that there's first party data, there's second party data. So all these different parameters, we have so much of data that we have from our job seekers that every campaign is personalized at a very different level. So the amount of personalization that happens on the email body is quite incredible actually in our case, because we're able to engage the job seeker, and this is during that 3 months when he's looking for a job. Let's say the sheer number of touch points that can emerge out of the different parameters that we have about the job seeker, we're able to recommend like that kind of a job very, very well. And that's where these journeys become very important. So we also have another complexity in our system because it's a platform, right? So there's the job seeker and there's a recruiter, and both are like separate platforms. So, and CleverTap is sort of configured on both the platforms. And being a very close knit platform, the job seeker needs to know a lot about what the recruiter has done on his or her profile, the actions that the recruiter has taken on his or her profile. So a lot of cross communication between these two things happen. So a lot of events kind of flow between the two. So that's where a lot of sort of custom integration has been done with CleverTap, wherein we're able to utilize the actions on one of the platform, pass them into the campaigns that are actually being triggered to the other side of the platform, right? So I think fundamentally speaking, if you do not have a tool like this, or at least for us personally, the cost to develop something like this, the cost to sort of just make something like this would be like insane, right? So which is where it all comes down to your cost of just like doing basic sort of product engagement really gets reduced a lot by and the time to hit the market, right? So I think it's at this point that it becomes clear why in the last year, even though we are so small, we're a very small company. I mean, we are a very small base. Probably we are CleverTaps, in terms of events and in terms of all that metrics. We're very small, but I think it's a great perspective to build that. Even smaller companies actually may need a tool like this. Way more than even, let's say, some big companies, because you enable a lot of the product sort of marketing. You enable a lot of actual core product engagement. So I think CleverTap within the team has ended up becoming a very, very complementary pillar to the product as well, and not just something that only, let's say, marketeers use, or product marketeers use. So I think that's a perspective that at least we have. We can move on to the next slide. These are like very, very high level numbers, but again, like if you really understand what we're doing, then you will see that if you don't have all these data points that come together and you use that intelligence to actually re-engage the job seeker, recommend better jobs based on the real parameters, you would not have seen application submissions happening that well. And of course, the month on month kind of active users that we add every month, that also fundamentally due to the personalization of the campaigns, because we're targeting every user with the right kind of jobs, right? So that's a fundamental strategy to acquire job seekers. So I think CleverTap has really been instrumental in actually us sort of getting off the ground, and then also growing it month on month. Of course, we do use the usual channels, like ones for engagement. We do use push notifications, we do a lot of emails, we are doing a bunch of WhatsApps, but ultimately I think if you put all of it together, a lot of our sort of uplift can be attributed to using a tool like CleverTap, which allows us to do all of this, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I think we are on to the last slide. Just to let you guys, I mean, many of you may want to check us out. If you do, we're a career platform for top talent, and till now we're pretty much just recommending great jobs to you guys. But very soon we'll be also launching, or actually we already launched it, but it's not really public yet. It's in the closed beta mode, wherein we're kind of launching this brainery kind of a platform, wherein we have a mentorship sort of angle to the product. You not only discover great jobs, but you also get to interact with some of the industry's best, like tech leaders, product managers, sort of pretty much anybody in the leadership role who can impart like very practical advice to you, one-on-one sessions, group sessions, professional coaching, and all of it with the value proposition that it's for top talent to come together and benefit from the collective knowledge that that top talent deserves to grow in their career. So yeah, that's what BigShyft will be coming up with soon. All right, thanks.